You are now tuned into Flipping the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
What's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome one, welcome all to another episode of Flipping the Birds.
He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles.
The long wait is over. The Philadelphia Eagles have their new offensive coordinator, and it is not a well-known name, but certainly a name that has generated a lot of buzz and momentum over the last couple of weeks, as the Philadelphia Eagles announced just a little bit ago that they have decided to hire Sean Mannion, the current and well, not current anymore, but he was the Green Bay Packers quarterbacks coach this past season. Only 2 years of experience as a coach under his belt, but he has impressed the front office and Nick Sirianni enough to give him the reins of the offensive coordinating position for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they are putting full trust in a 33-year-old to come into Philly and accept and embrace this win now mantra that this team and franchise has, because this window is where it is as they are looking to make it back to another Super Bowl. Really big news. Thanks so much for joining us here on Flipping the Birds. Cory with you, David Nees, Brian Cameron, normally with us as well. We'll be talking about this hire later on, but man, the wait is over, and I think a lot of people were starting to get frustrated about that. Why is it taking so long? Why aren't they making a decision? And I've said it, they cannot swing and miss on this hiring. And yes, this hiring carries a lot of risk, right? 33-year-old coach, only 2 years under his belt, didn't really have a great playing career. He was a third-round pick by the Los Angeles Rams, so he does have some pedigree in terms of his ability to play the sport, although he didn't really play it that well at the highest level. The Rams thought he was good enough to be drafted in the third round, but nonetheless, this to me was the right move for the Eagles. I know Jim Bob Cooter, even Matt Nagy would have been a little bit more of a safer pick with experience calling plays. However, I think the Eagles needed to take a little bit of a chance here after they lost out on Brian Daboll and Mike McDaniel. They did bring in a couple of other guys for a second interview. Gerard Johnson reportedly was in the building today for his second interview. Josh Grizzard of Tampa Bay had a second interview. Jim Bob Cooter also had a second interview. And of course, Sean Mannion did as well. So it seemed like they were dwindling their list, which again, they said they were going to cast a wide net. They want to gather as much information as possible. And if you haven't done so yet, I encourage you to go on X, Twitter, and look up Sean Mannion and see some of the stories and some of the high praise that this guy is getting from the Packers organization, different media members. The fans were hoping that he was going to stick around because he did a really good job with both Jordan Love and Malik Willis. Jordan Love had arguably his best season as a pro. You look at his numbers, his QBR was sixth best in the league. He had a 101.2 rating. He had the fewest interceptions since his sophomore season, where he only played 4 games. And 2021, his rookie season, he only played 6. So you take those 2 years out, and in 3 full seasons as a starter, he had the fewest interceptions of his career with 6. The previous 2 seasons, he threw 11 each. So Sean Mannion has some secret sauce about him where he was able to get not only Jordan Love playing at his best, but when Jordan Love went out, Malik Willis shined for the Green Bay Packers. Now, if you remember Malik Willis, he was a high draft pick by the Tennessee Titans, looked like he was going to be an absolute bust. Malik Willis comes in, fills in admirably, wins a couple of games for Green Bay, and now he's one of the more sought-after free agent quarterbacks this offseason. So there's something to be said about that with Sean Mannion. Now, if you look at some of his pedigree, again, as I mentioned, a third-round pick by the Rams in 2015. What I like the most about him is he was learning as a quarterback under some of the best offensive minds that we are seeing currently in the NFL. Sean McVay, Clint Kubiak, who is actually doing fantastic work up in Seattle. He is most likely going to be a head coach soon as well. Kevin Stefanski, who has been a great offensive-minded coach as well. He's now with Atlanta. Kevin O'Connell, just really talented offensive minds that he was learning underneath. And it's almost better that he didn't play in a sense, because as a backup, you still have to learn every single play, every nuance of the offense. So if your name is called, you are ready to perform. So the backup quarterback, very important position on the roster, but Mannion has taken what he has learned and has clearly applied it to his young coaching career. The Green Bay Packers play-by-play man was on 97.5 The Fanatic earlier today, and he said that Sean Mannion could be an NFL head coach in the near future. I mean, this is how talented this guy is. They've seen it. They've witnessed it firsthand, and now he brings that talent over to Philadelphia. So I think it's a really good hire by the Eagles. I know some are just going to absolutely hammer the fact that he hasn't called plays, and why would they do that after we just saw what happened with Kevin Patullo? But I think there's a little difference here with Patullo and Mannion, the way that Mannion has been talked about, has been raved about, and Patullo, yeah, the guys like him in the Eagles building, and he's buddy-buddy with Nick Sirianni, but this seems to have a bit of a different feel to it regarding Mannion. So I think it's a really strong hire by the Eagles. I know it's not their top choices, but they didn't rush. They didn't panic. I think a lot of fans would have been underwhelmed if it was Matt Nagy or Jim Bob Cooter. Again, some fans would have been happy with that because it was at least an experienced play caller. The way I look at it is you get a young mind into the building. You're able to mold him. He's able to kind of put his fingerprints on the offense. Ideally, Nick Sirianni steps aside. We heard the Jeff McClain report that Jeff Stoutland was relieved of his run game coordinating duty. So maybe Mannion has somebody in mind that might take over the running game coordinating responsibilities, and Jeff Stoutland can solely focus on the offensive line and make sure that those guys are healthy, because obviously that was a huge reason why the Eagles struggled overall on the offensive side of the football. So a lot of things still going on here for the Eagles, but they do make the decision, and the new offensive coordinator is Sean Mannion, and I think that was the right move for Philadelphia. You get a younger guy in. Now, if he thrives, maybe some of the stuff coming out about Nick Sirianni and whatever the case may be, maybe he is the heir apparent to Nick Sirianni, where you can just elevate Mannion to be a head coach. Now, if he completely dominates and completely excels in this position, well, the Eagles might only have him for one season. So we'll see what happens. Howie Roseman said at the end of the season press conference, he's not worried if he has to constantly hire new offensive coordinators. He just wants this team to be in the best position to succeed and have a chance at winning multiple Super Bowls with the amount of talent that is on this roster. So that will do it for this quick emergency pod here on Flipping the Birds. Sean Mannion is your new offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let us know what you think about the hire. Let us know in the comments. And the guys and I will certainly break this down further as the week progresses. Make sure you keep it locked in to Flipping the Birds and Philly Sports Network. We have you covered with all things Eagles and the rest of the pro teams in the city. But Sean Mannion, the 33-year-old quarterback coach from Green Bay, is your new OC for the Eagles. And oh, by the way, the last time the Eagles hired a quarterbacks coach from the Packers who nobody knew, it was Andy Reid. And what did Andy Reid do? He turned the franchise around. So take a deep breath. Let's see how this pans out. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of positivity around Sean Mannion and what he can bring. And I'm excited to see how this offense will look with the new OC. That'll do it for us. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon.
Flip.